It's April 13th, 2019. And you may be wondering, how are people good with God and or without God? The God concept, the God meme. How is that possible? Well, what you need to do is engage in a analysis of what people do mostly universally. And so there are a generally observable trends with regard to morality, um, and regarding bad activities of humans, mostly universal. You could go through the list. Everyone pretty knows what they are. Pretty much don't need to mention them much. And yeah, so um, so there's that. So there's that observational fact. Also, um, religions, and the first person that kind of red-pilled me to this is old fart commie hippie Dan Dennett. Now, even though Dan Dennett is an old fart commie hippie, he still has some interesting lectures and ideas and revelations. Um, and the thing that he red-pilled me to was the realization that religions are natural phenomenon. Now, the one thing that Dan probably doesn't want to admit, or maybe he does, and I don't know, reluctantly admit, well, some of the so-called new atheists don't want to admit that religion's couch evolved morality. Religion's couch evolved morality and evolved traits. Why? Well, human brains are complex enough to run things called memes. Memes is just a Richard Dawkins coined word that means sets of ideas that replicate. So memes, which result in more gene expression, are favored within us. Okay. So, but one way that people become less moral without God is when they forget, when they essentially toss the baby of evolved morality out with the bathwater of mysticism. And I agree with Jordan Peterson on this, that even the evolved morality, not the evolved, even the mysticism has useful value. Stories repeated over a long period of time, popular stories, probably repeated for darn good reasons. Whether those stories are literally true or not is not really the point. Now, so that's fine. You can the atheist, the angry atheist, the reactionary atheist. Oh, he can listen to all that, but there's a and he could perhaps be a little satisfied with how. Oh yes, that shows that I'm somewhat smarter than the religious people. But what about the secular de facto religion of culturally Marxist postmodernism? Culturally Marxist postmodernism is a de facto secular cult with dogma, doctrines, heresy trials, and excommunications. the social justice warrior left, the Marxist left, the fascist left. Fascism is leftist also. All of the founders of Italian fascism were Marxists. And so, in any case, it's all a cult. A cult is basically, kind of a bad religion. It's usually we use the cult word to mean a bad religion, a religion with less redeeming values. For example, Amish, less of a cult because it has a lot of good redeeming values. Scientology, more of a cult because it has less redeeming values. Okay? But there is a denialism on the cultural left, rooted in culturally Marxist postmodernism, that basically seeks to throw out everything. It's dumb shittery. Dumb shittery. I can say a dumb shittery using my airplane pilot voice, my radio announcer voice. Thank you. Dumb shittery. It's dumb shittery. Why is it dumb shittery? Well, let's lay out some of the things that are claimed by the culturally Marxist, postmodernist, culturally Marxist left. Gender is non-binary. That is a lie. Gender is binary in the human animal. Birth defects don't make those defects non-female or non-male. They're just kind of defects that can't have. If let's say that you're born with some sort of a defect with regard to external genitalia expression presentation. Whatever, it doesn't mean you're going to change how babies are made, and that's the bottom line when it comes to gender in the human animal. How are babies made? What does it take to make a baby? Huh? What does it take to make a baby? So, takes a man, it takes a woman, and that's it. So, do you push babies out of your vajayjay? Could you? Would you? Could you? That sounds like a Dr. Seuss book a little bit. Would you? Could you push a baby out? Anyway, I'll think about a good Dr. Seuss version of that. But anyway, women have babies. Men contribute the sperm factor, and that's two genders, not three, not four, not changing, cannot change gender. If you think you can change your gender, you're a dumb shit. You're crazy. And your actions, if you do to go that route by surgical butchery, well, you'll probably have a higher likelihood of suicide because of your dumb shit choices. Let's be honest. And during any of this conversation or chat, well, sort of a one-sided conversation, whether you can listen or not. In any case, commentary. During this commentary, did I state that any sort of a god made these claims? No. No. It's the same type of observational evidence that you can get by looking through a flipping microscope and observing amoeba doing their activities or bacteria. Just observe what the human animal does. How does the human animal make babies? What is sex for? that type of thing. So there's that aspect, those two things there, and then also the denial that babies require a mother and father for their own best well-being, also denied by the cultural left. More abusive dumb shittery, more lives destroyed. Natural evolved morality, natural evolved human nature. Do you want to be a dumb shit and deny human nature? Are you a dumb shit? Are you a leftist dumb shit? Probably, if you claim that children don't need, for their own best well-being, a mother and a father. Oh, what's another one? Well, that people who, the two men can get married or two women can get married. No, the word marriage is just a euphemism for a pair-bonded, inherently reproductive couple. Marriage is just another name for that. If you want to change the definition of marriage to mean something else, then it's not marriage and it's not sex, and babies are babies naturally produced by two men or two women. Naturally. Au natural. The 1.2 billion year evolved way. 1.2 billion years being the time sex has existed on this planet. The 1.2 billion year evolved way. Yes. Let's compare that history. 1.2 billion years it took for the denialist dumbshits of the postmodernist left to be created. And they came up with an ideology that essentially hijacks the lives of many people and draws them into a dead end de facto death cult, the leftist death cult, LDC. Did I? Now, goodness, trigger warning, safe space, go to your safe space, you stupid little snowflake. Trigger warning. I'm not claiming that any of this comes from a God, or from the Bible, or from the Quran, or from the Book of the Mormons. I'm claiming it came from evolved human nature, evolution. Evolution by natural selection, evolution by female selection, picky female selection, females being the choosers of who gets access to the vajayjay, ideally. Except in retrograde cultures like Islam. Retrograde, abusive. Islam, abusive. Retrograde, abusive. But that leads us to another point, and that is that racist eugenicist Margaret Sanger came up with the birth control pill. She helped bankroll it. She helped bankroll its development. And she also created a baby-killing abattoir called Planned Parenthood, an organization which kills, I don't know, thousands, millions of black babies, at least thousands and thousands of black babies every year in America. If you're a little tiny black baby growing peacefully in your mother's womb, well, you have a higher chance of being killed by Margaret Sanger's baby-killing abattoir than coming out alive. So who's the racist now, huh? Who are the racists? Who are the racists? Those pussy-hatted dumb shits who want to engage in mass baby murder via Planned Parenthood? Margaret Sanger's legacy? Racist eugenicist Margaret Sanger's legacy outfit? Who's the racist? Huh? Who? Which side? Which side of the political spectrum? are the racists. Now, with regard to the orange-haired monster, also called the orange-haired genius in the White House, Donald Trump, I am very grateful that he got elected. He blocked the pay-to-play harlot named Hillary Clinton. Team rape, that's the Clintons. Team play-to-play whoring. Using your government job to make as much money as possible for you and yours. That's the Clintons. So that's one thing, pay-to-play whoring. Plus, Bill Clinton is an absolute rapist, and Hillary Clinton harassed and abused Bill Clinton's victims. Oh, let's elect Hillary Clinton. She's so qualified. Yeah, she's qualified as a rape-enabling, pay-to-play whore. So that's not a good thing to elect Hillary Clinton. So I'm grateful that Donald Trump got off the effing golf course, got out there, and managed to squeak through a blockage of a wretched, psychopathic whore. So grateful that Donald Trump did that. Donald Trump, his values pretty much match up with those of my Democrat father. Lifelong Democrat father. Now, true that my Democrat father chumpishly loved Bill Clinton, but he just didn't know. He didn't believe the facts about Bill Clinton. He didn't know, but I do. And other red-pilled people do. So the working class values of my Democrat father are wonderfully expressed by the valiant way Donald Trump tries to fight for the common man in America. All right? Unhinged illegal immigration hurts the common man in America, and so on. So, that's my commentary for today. Have fun.